Hi, I'm Julia Hankins, and I help other kids yoga teachers to be more confident in what they're offering so that they can create a life and a business that is aligned with their values and more fulfilling for them. And so today we're going to be talking all about the best times of the school year to offer your kids yoga classes to schools. So if you're interested in getting your kids yoga classes into schools and nurseries, whether this is for extracurricular classes or lessons within the school day or workshops for teachers' wellbeing, then this video will hopefully be useful to you. So in it, I'm going to be sharing information about the times of year that are really great for making connections with schools and why. If you would like my copy of my marketing plan for you to edit for yourself, you can get that. I'll share it in the comment section below or the kind of video description below. It's just a really simple Google Doc that is my own marketing plan that I've used myself, and you can just take a copy of it and edit it to suit you for your business, but it's got lots and lots of dates on there that will hopefully be supportive for you in your business. So I also want to share with you that I'm a previous member of Kerry Keneally's Approaching Schools Academy, and that's how I got the vast majority of the work that I do in schools now. And I highly recommend that this program that she is running, I know that she's got the doors open right now. She's taking on some new people, teaching them how to approach schools in her Approaching Schools Academy. I'll also include the link for that in the video description box below. I don't know why I have a real issue remembering what the little box is called, but if you're interested in Keris's wonderful program, then check out the link below. So my thoughts on when the best times are to reach out to schools and nurseries are based on three main things. And so the first one of these main things are financial times. So schools get given their funding at different times of the year. In England, schools, that's where I'm based, schools receive funding in three key blocks each academic year. And the timing is really important because it impacts like when the schools can allocate budgets for services like external providers, such as extracurricular classes or kids yoga classes. And so here's a general outline of schools in England get their bulk of their financial funding. So at the start of the financial year in April, that's when the school received their main block of funding from the Department for Education. And that's the start of the financial year, and the funding covers the bulk of the school's operating costs. That's when they are shifting. There's a lot of things happen in schools, in the offices within schools in this time. It's the end of one financial year and the start of another one. There's lots of talk about money at that time of year. Also, in July, the schools receive updated or additional funding, but that's based on any adjustments or changes that have happened to the pupil numbers for the upcoming school year. And so this is often when schools review their budgets for September. So July is a useful time to be aware that a lot of financial choices are being made for the following September. September and October are also important times in the financial calendar for schools, because at the beginning of the academic year in September, schools release they reassess their budgets and they set their allocations for different programs there. Also, in October, there's a census which counts the number of pupils that the school has on roll, and that really influences future funding allocations for the school, because each school gets money for particular children, like for how many children they've got. Their funding depends on the number on roll. So these are really ideal times for contacting schools about yoga programs, because they're likely planning or adjusting their budgets at these times. But I want to talk a little bit more about specific funding that is appropriate for us as kids yoga teachers or mindfulness teachers or other wellness, wellbeing practitioners working in schools and nurseries, because schools also receive special funding streams that are targeted to areas such as sports or mental health. And these funds provide great opportunities for programs such as kids yoga teacher, or kids yoga or mindfulness, as they align with both physical and mental goals, well, kids yoga does. Mindfulness doesn't meet the physical goals, but definitely mental health goals. So here are the key funding streams and their timings for those. So the first one that I must talk about is the PE and sports premium. A lot of the work that I do in school is funded through this fund, and it's allocated in 2 instalments. It depends on the type of school as to when they get those instalments, but typically it's around October, November for most schools. Some schools, I think if they're a specific schools, get them in December, but most schools and academies get them in October and November. And the second instalment is April or May, again, depending on the type of school. So it's provided to primary schools to improve the quality of PE and sport, and it's intended to help schools develop or enhance their physical activity programs, which can include activities like yoga. All primary schools receive this funding based on the number of pupils in year 1 to 6. Now, I talk a lot more about this in a different video about sports premium, and I will link that again below in the comments. It's not the comments box, it's the video description. So I will link to the other video where I talk about the primary school sports premium fund more in that video. You might find that helpful. So what funding is there for mental health and well-being? Well, there isn't a universal funding stream that's specific to mental health in schools, but there are several grants and initiatives that are tied to wider government or local authority funding within schools, which they can apply for throughout the year. And so key ones of these are the Wellbeing for Education Recovery Programme. That provides funding and support that's aimed at helping schools deal with the mental health impacts of the pandemic. It's ongoing and often aligns with local authority budgets and timelines. I personally haven't had any experience of being paid from this funding, but I'm sharing it here because it may apply to someone who's watching this. Indeed, many of you watching this may have already have had access to this fund, or the school have used this fund to fund your programs, but I personally haven't. Also, schools can access Pupil Premium, which supports mental health initiatives because it's designed to support disadvantaged pupils, which can include emotional and psychological support. Don't know what I said, report. I'm reading because there's a lot of information that I want to share and I want to get it right. For Pupil Premium, which I have been paid for out of, this is paid to schools in quarterly instalments. So April, July, October and January are the times when schools receive their Pupil Premium. And again, it depends on how many children that they have that are classed as Pupil Premium. So these are children who are classed as disadvantaged. There's a very clear criteria for which children these will be, and also clear reasons on how they can spend that funding. But it can be used for yoga. So there's also the special educational needs and disability funding, which is generally reviewed annually, but the schools receive their allocations based again on which children or how many children they have at the start of year in September. So yoga can be really effective as part of a mental health and wellbeing program for students with special educational needs, and so the schools may use their SEND budgets to support such initiatives like this. Maybe if you're working with particular groups of children, then a school may choose to use their funding in that way. So schools generally make budget decisions regarding these funds early in the academic year or when they receive the funds that they give. But contacting schools around these key funding dates can increase your chances of successfully promoting your kids yoga programs. So it's worth knowing them. It's worth having them written down. So that's financial times. Another main area that is really useful for thinking about times to reach out to schools for various things are special dates. So there's lots of special dates scattered through the year that lend themselves well to communicating with schools about yoga and mindfulness or other well-being offerings that you may have. A few key examples, I'm not going to list loads here, but a few that you may consider are World Mental Health Day, which is on October the 10th. February has Children's Mental Health Week. It depends on the year as to the specific dates of this. In May, there's Mental Health Week. In June, there's National Sports Week. There's lots and lots of other dates though. And if you would like a more detailed list of these dates, then make sure that you download my free marketing planner, because that's where I share lots of dates across the academic year and how these fit into the main term times. You can just make a copy of it. You've got all of the dates there, and then you can plan, okay, this is what I would like to do at these times. And so you might also find a video about wellbeing days useful if you're doing this, because I talk there a little bit more about other dates that I use as well. So having a list of these dates can be really useful for you to plan your year and what you're offering each term. So I do this at the beginning of an academic year, map out what I'm going to focus on and in what ways I'm going to reach out to schools. Because although I'm fully booked with my annual contracts with schools, but I don't do this every single day of the week, because I would very, very quickly reach burnout, and I think I would get bored. Actually, I have ADHD and I like lots and lots of different things, have lots and lots of things. So although I work 3 days a week or 2 days a week, depending on the week, in my annual contract schools, but I also have extra dates when I reach out to when I do extra work in other schools for wellbeing days, things like that. And so I use my marketing plan to map out, okay, when am I going to offer my services to other schools, and how I'm going to link this to what's going on at the time. So financial times and special dates are the two main areas that I've talked about so far. And the final one is the time that works best for you. What? Sounds like a complete cop-out, doesn't it? But it's true. The very best time that you can reach out to schools is the time when you're in a good space yourself. And so what do I mean by this? Well, if you don't have the energy and you're feeling really rushed and busy, then you're not going to do a good job of formulating your email, or you're not going to have the space to follow up with conversations. So think about, do you have the energy? Do you have the space and the time to do a good job? So if you're feeling rushed and stressed and unprepared, that's not going to be a great time for you to reach out to schools. I've done this before. I've been so caught up in the best time to communicate that I sent some emails that were really a little bit shit. And on reflection, I think I was too busy with life stuff, things with my family, parents were moving house, things were happening with my kids, changes at school. And but I had it in my head, a really fixed idea. This is the best time. This is the best time to reach out to schools. And if I don't reach out at this time, then, what if it won't happen? Actually, it just wasn't the right time for me. And now I'm compassionate with myself for where I was at the time. I think I was living in the fear that I wasn't earning as much money as I felt I should be. And my actions definitely came from that place, like rushed and fearful and stressed. But that's not to say that you can't reach out to schools if you're feeling that way yourself. Of course, there's going to be times in our business when we are feeling that way. Just don't write the emails or make the phone calls or visit the school when you're deep in that feeling of lack, because it's not really gonna help you. So maybe if you are feeling in that space, take some time to meditate or yoga, walking in nature, taking a shower, whatever you need to do to be in a good space before you actually write your email or phone school or visit the school, so that you're in the best place that you possibly can be at that moment. So there's kind of two prongs to this. So when's the best time for you actually, physically? Also, when's the best time for you mentally and emotionally and energetically. And we won't always be in a perfect space, and that's okay. That's not to say you shouldn't reach out at that time, just that you should give yourself the best chance that you can for being in the right energy for it. So if you're feeling really overwhelmed in your business, I get it. I've definitely been there myself, and you'd like some clarity or support in any aspect. So this could be working with schools, this could be behaviour in your classes, this could be systems and organisation. I work with people on lots of different aspects of their business. If you'd like some extra support, why not book a chat with me? So you could book in a free chat if you're interested in being mentored by me on a longer 6-month program, or you could book in an hour-long power hour with me, or you can book on a 90-minute strategy session with me. I'm going to include a little link below for you to schedule an appointment with me if you just need a little bit of extra support in your business right now, or even if you just need somebody to talk to about it, because it can be pretty lonely. So I'm going to add into the description box below free marketing plan with all the dates on that I find useful to reach out to schools. I'm going to add in a link to a video about wellbeing days. I'm going to add in a link to a video about pupil premium. I'm going to add in a link to come and talk to me if you would like to. And I'm also going to add in a link to Keris Keneally's Approaching Schools Academy, as she has just opened the doors on that, and I highly recommend it. If what you're wanting to do is get more schools, then that's really your first place to go. I highly recommend working with Keris and making the most of that academy while it's open, because it's not open all the time. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. If you found it useful, please like and subscribe. If you've got any questions, please comment below. If there's anything that you would like me to do a video on, please email me, julia@juliahankins.co.uk. I'm always open to ideas. I do occasionally ask me anything videos, so if you've got a question, I can put it together and put a video together for that. And make sure that you're signed up to my mailing list so that you can get an email from me every Tuesday where I share with you these videos and also any freebies that I have going on. Thanks for watching and have a great day.